Hello, everyone. This is Christopher with Rotown Cybersecurity. In this video, we're going to demonstrate the cut command. This is a command that I found very useful for separating out columns of text data. I want to keep certain columns and discard others. The cut command is very useful for that. Let's open up a file that we want to go ahead and use the cut command on later in this video. This will be nano cut me mic. So if you're a Rocky fan, you might get that reference. But anyway, we'll open that file. We'll see that it's a very basic customer file, and we've got a last name, a first name, a middle initial. Here is a date of birth. It's in MMDDYY format. So this would represent January 15th, 1957. This is a phone number in US phone number format. There's a handful of other countries that use the US phone number format, but anyway, street address, city. Yes, there actually is a city called Truth or Consequences in New Mexico. And we've got the state of New Mexico, and then we've got a 5-character postal code. If you're in another country, you may abbreviate your provinces or states and postal codes a little differently, but we won't get too bogged down in the details of that. Let's say, for the sake of exercise, that we're in a company and like I'm a hypothetical DBA and a hypothetical marketing guy comes up to me and says, hey, I need to make a mailing list of all these customers. The DBA might say, okay, fine. But before I give you that list, I'm going to strip out the date of birth and the phone number because you don't need that to print address labels or do a mass mailing. So what the DBA might do is he might use the cut command on a file like this cut me mic file. So we're going to go ahead and exit out and see how that works. And I've already done the command to show this file or to do the cut command. So I'm going to just go through my command history. If you bear with me, we'll have it up on the screen shortly. Just want to save a little time. Okay. So we have cut -C, couple of ranges 1 through 28 and 47 through 106, and then cut me mic is the file we're going to get that information from. So cut -C, the -C means character position. So we're going to take character positions 1 through 28 and 47 through 106, and we're going to ignore everything else. The results will appear in standard output. So it'll appear on the screen. If you wanted to redirect this to a text file, that's a very trivial matter. You just add that option on the end. And, we'd have a text file that we could give to our imaginary marketing professional for their mailing list. Let's go ahead and run the command. And as you can see, we do not have dates of birth or phone numbers in here. Couple of variations of the command might prove useful. Let me just do a little tweak here. This command with the -B option, all I've done is substitute -B for -C. This will give us the same results. And what's going on is this is a cut, and the -B means by byte position. But since our data is made up of ASCII characters, there is generally 1 character per byte. It's the same set of results. Let's do a couple of other things. Let's try just a very simple one, just 1 column. This should just give us the first column in the whole text file. And we can do ranges. We can do a couple of them. We could say, let's do this. Let's just do 1 and 2. Okay. We can get kind of really random with it. We could say 1 and 34. Okay. All right, that's exactly what we wanted there. So we got the first three characters of the column. We can do open ranges. Oops, sorry. All right, let's do from the beginning to character position 23 on cut mimic. All right. And then we can do have the first part of a range fixed. And then go to the end of the line. So we start at position 47, we go to the end of the line every time. You recognize the addresses, the city, state, and the postal code. Okay, now there was one example that I want to show you where I have a file with a different set of characters in it. And let's go ahead and open that up in Nano, and it'll become apparent pretty quickly here. I made a file, and we'll call it cutmemic2. It's pretty much the same thing, names and addresses. But what I've done is I deliberately added extraneous characters that are either punctuation marks, symbols. They could be control characters or extended ASCII. And if you're familiar with ASCII, or whether you are or not, ASCII is an 8-bit character format, so it only supports 256 values. The characters with decimal values or decimal codes of 0 through 31 are control characters. They're not normally printable, although in some contexts, if you're using a numeric keypad to help you enter extended characters or other, characters that don't appear on the keyboard, they may appear when you key those in. Characters from decimal code of 128 on up to 255 are extended ASCII characters. They might be characters you see in other languages. They might be characters used to draw boxes or make mathematical symbols. But ASCII, as you might imagine, is very limited for multilingual support. And that is why we created Unicode. Unicode supports, I believe, over 140,000 characters, something like that. So you think of all the different languages that do not use a Roman alphabet format, the Cyrillic, the Greek, the Asian languages like Japanese, Mandarin, Cantonese, Korean. Those characters would appear in Unicode. Anyway, we're not dealing with Unicode in this application. We just want to strip out these characters that I deliberately added so that the file cutmemic2 is more readable. So we're going to exit out of that and attempt to make that file readable. All right, and I have the file in my the command in my history, so we'll go ahead and go to that. Just bear with me. I don't want to enter this stuff manually. Okay. Those are the character positions, all those ranges. There's about 5 or 6 different ranges. Those are the ones I want to keep. Let's go ahead and try it. And you'll see that we didn't get quite the results that we had hoped to get. The first 3 sets of data are okay, the last name, first name, and the street address, but it starts to break down when we try to display the city. The state is almost a total failure. I think I see one state in there, KY for Kentucky, about the 4th row from the bottom. And then we don't even get a postal code. So I think what happened is CUT is having problems with extended ASCII or control characters, and it cannot process them properly. So what this means to you is if you are dealing with text files that have some extended ASCII or control characters, things that we're not usually used to dealing with if we're used to dealing with the English language. And you may want to, if you're dealing with something like that goes beyond just simple English language characters and punctuation marks and things like that, you may want to double check any operations that you do with the cut command that give you output. You may want to, if you're redirecting it to a text file, double check that text file, make sure that it comes out in the format that you want it to, because you may not get the results that you wanted. You may have unpredictable results. And if that's the case, it may be necessary for you to write a customized script to process your input file to get the right output for whatever your needs are. I think that's about it for the cut command. We've covered a lot of different combinations. There's obviously a lot more we could do. In the interest of time, though, I don't want to make this an exhaustive analysis on the cut command, but I encourage you to, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to it, hit the notifications bell, because we will be putting up more content like this on a regular basis. And the comments, feel free to leave a constructive comment. If you know how to address the issue using the cut command with these extended ASCII or control characters, I'd love to hear about it. If you have other commands that do the same thing, or other commands that work around some of these problems we've had, I'd love to hear about that too. I think we all learn a lot better and a lot faster when everybody feels free to contribute constructive comments and things that we can learn from, things that are educational. So that wraps up for this video. Thanks again, and we will see you next time.
Ow! This has been a Broken Thumb production.